Hello, welcome. If you know me, hey. If you don't know me, welcome. My name is Brandy Michelle Peters, and I am an autistic entrepreneur. Yes, I did just say autistic, not artistic, although artistic is a quality that autistic people like myself have, and I am highly creative, and for the last 10 years, I have been successfully self-employed as a creative, running my own marketing agency. I started out as a freelancer and gradually built from there. But this channel is not going to be so much about what I do as an entrepreneur. This channel is for me to talk about what it's like doing those things and running a successful business while also learning to manage and cope with my autism. Now, if you're here and you're like, Brandy, I've been watching you. I've thought that you're autistic for a while. Now you know. Like, it's been brought up to me a few times that I have a little bit of quirkiness, we'll say. I think it has been said to my face that I am full-on autistic, and at the time it just was not a bit of feedback that I was willing to receive. It also, of course, matters how a person is putting that on you. Suggesting someone is autistic but meaning it in a negative way can be really triggering. I hate the word triggering, but triggering triggers me. No, it does upset a person to have, their traits pointed out with a negative, stigmatized stereotype of autism, which I think is very often the case. If it's a neurotypical person saying it, even if they have all the best intentions in the world, I definitely was not willing to hear it from anybody else. And I only learned this about myself in actually looking for resources to help my son, who we suspect is ADHD. And it was about a year ago that I realized that I was ADHD, and I didn't, the autism factor didn't come into my awareness for a little while longer after that, but I see how trendy neurodivergency is on TikTok, and the algorithms just seem to love it, and it feeds a lot of this celebration of neurodivergency content to me, which in my typical manner made me want to be different and be the rebel. So I decided that this wasn't something that I was going to even look into or take upon myself as a label, because I was at the time thinking, well, look at all of the things I am able to do, and so therefore it's not even possible that I could be ADHD, let alone autistic. However, the more serious perspective I've now taken on it is that, first of all, indeed I am autistic, and that is why, despite my greatest efforts to change myself, consulting even with coaches who I thought had the, solution to my problem, I've realized that, you cannot self-help away neurodivergency because it's just the way your brain functions differently than other people. So despite wanting so badly to be normal, right, I wasn't able to achieve that, and I have been seeking that for a long time. I have been seeking the fix to myself for a long time, and despite being successful at running my business, and I live a very abundant and fulfilling life that I'm very grateful for. I have a wonderful husband, 3 wonderful children. I have struggled internally with self-loathing because despite those things, there are just things on the inside that have felt really caged in because, like so many autistic people do, I've had to create so many masks and rules for myself. I guess I would describe them. I've created so many rules and systems and bypassing the natural programming just to live, so much so that it is exhausting. And I've been going through this cycle of, you know, putting my head down, working really hard, doing whatever it takes to get the thing, whatever the thing is that I've set my sights on, completely burning myself out, people pleasing, high performing, perfectionism, anxiety and depression, all of those things compiling, yet still completely bypassing all of my own natural instincts just to do those things, just to be successful, and then still like hating myself the whole time because I didn't, like, things just didn't compute. I disassociate very much from the me that I present to the me who I am, and not quite knowing how to share the me that I am, because that's the most vulnerable variation of myself. Does that make sense? I hope it's making sense. I'll talk about it more in future videos. So, accepting the neurodivergency, for me, it's like, this is the coming out. I'm just saying, like, I accept. Okay, I surrender. I will admit that, yes, I have autism, and I think there's people who kind of saw that in me or have seen things in me, but didn't ever want to hurt my feelings. It feels like such a relief to go down now the autism rabbit hole, if you will, to understand my neurodivergency and to understand how it is pretty much the explanation for everything that I've struggled with my entire life. So not just my adult life, because my childhood was riddled with complexity as well. And I feel really excited to learn more and share the experience of being a successful autistic entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, that's kind of, you know, amazing that despite all of this, I have been able to do the things that I've been able to do and the life I've been able to live. I have been successfully self-employed on the internet for 10 years, selling my creative and technical services. And for at least 5 of those years, my husband was able to be a stay-at-home dad, and he was able to be a stay-at-home dad because I was able to make quite a decent income. I didn't have the most self-esteem, despite being able to do things that you would think logically would give a person self-esteem. The explanation is quite simple. It's because I'm autistic and I disassociate, and a lot of those were done with a mask. And I will talk more about that. I will talk more about masks and my masks. And I hope that when you watch this video, even though it's really hard because it is kind of something habitually I have done for a long time, I'm trying not to be like a mask. I'm trying to be authentic. And I've always aspired to be authentic. It's just what happens when you're autistic and you are authentic and then you get feedback from the world, and sometimes it's not kind feedback. You go, oh, so they don't want me like that, so maybe I'll try on this hat instead. And so that's kind of just how I've navigated the world, is trying on these person costumes and seeing what those feel like, and kind of making a personality or a variation of myself that I thought would be accepted, or the most accepted, the most palatable version of myself. And it's exhausting to do that, which, as I am also in burnout recovery, it makes sense why I am exhausted from doing this for years. So anyways, that's what this channel is going to be about. It'll just be me sharing what I'm learning and how that has related to me and my experiences as an entrepreneur. And I'm creating this content specifically for anybody who might feel that experience of having to change so much about themselves to be accepted, and to struggle with repeated patterns caused by their neurodivergency, and also have entrepreneurial aspirations. And I can share how I've managed as well, because I've made it despite these issues. I just am hoping, my goal for myself is to learn actual coping skills, not band-aid coping skills, not how to just kind of disguise the struggle, but better actually live so I'm not in constant internal agony. Oh, wouldn't that just be so wonderful, right? If you're interested in that and you'd like to follow along, that's what this is all about. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.